Good morning and welcome to a Disney Life episode 26. So today we are going to be talking through the foodie guides for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Jollywood Nights. These were both posted fairly recently. We are recording this a couple of weeks before this will actually air. So we are going to go through these. This will be our first time walking through them together. We'll also have a top five about our favorite Christmas activities around Walt Disney World. And our question of the week will be about packages and future party dates. So, my name is Rachel, and I'm joined here by my co host, Missy. Good morning, Missy.
Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm crazy as usual. I feel like every time we sit to have one of these chats, I'm coming in here all flustered. And every time I promise myself that things will be a little more relaxed. But today is not the ideal day. So, as Rachel had mentioned, we're actually recording this pretty early because both of us have a couple different vacations and trips planned for the month of November. I know this is airing early December. We wanted to have a holiday episode for you. We were holding out for Disney to give us all the info that we wanted for this episode, and we couldn't hold off anymore. We're actually recording this on Halloween, so it's a little early, but we thought it was important to stay consistent with having an episode for you every Monday. By the time you hear this, I will have already sailed on the Disney Destiny, and hopefully that all came across well for you for that episode. And I will be preparing to head out on another trip for my family's holiday trip this year. We have a weekend planned at Walt Disney World. So in that episode, we will be covering Festival of the Holidays. But for the purpose of today's episode, we'll be focusing elsewhere on holiday things, specifically, as Rachel mentioned, with the Very Merry Christmas Party and Jollywood Nights.
Yes, and also with that, so the foodie guides that Disney Parks releases, those are some of my favorite releases that they offer because I love to see all of the different varieties that they come up with every single year. So, Missy and I, we love food. We love food at the park. So we thought this would be fun to dive into together. And we love Christmas and we love the holiday season at Walt Disney World.
And I'm a
With
sucker for cute little things. Like it,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of just buying something for the gram, even though I'm not really one to participate a whole lot in Instagram. I do scroll through it. I love seeing the cute foods and I love getting them in the parks and just seeing what there is to offer, even if it's not something that I particularly want to eat. So we appreciate you listening today to come along for this chat with us and to see what Disney's offering this December.
Yeah, before we get into that, we will talk about some news that is recent as of this recording. Again, this is on Halloween that we are recording this. So, Walt Disney World, by the time that you will hear this, Christmas decorations will be up for 1 month at this point. Walt Disney World did announce earlier that Main Street will be decorated beginning November 2nd. I think this is really big news because this does give guests a chance to anticipate when they will see the decorations up, and that will be coming up very, very soon from the date of this recording. But I love that it's a huge anticipation with everyone. How fast will they get Halloween down and Christmas up? And it looks like it's going to be pretty fast this year, Missy.
It's definitely highly anticipated, and I know there have been some years that we've seen it as early as November 1st, and when I saw the announcement saying, "Hey, it's coming November 2nd," I thought, "Well, they're saving themselves a lot of disappointed people who would have expected to go November 1st and not quite see it all yet." But, of course, with the, Halloween being on Friday, having it up for Saturday would be quite wonderful, but obviously, it just didn't, quite follow their schedule this year, which is fine. It's great, to have had it all up for Sunday. Now, of course, that's just the Magic Kingdom. That doesn't mean the entire property. So, the resorts tend to follow suit afterwards on their own independent schedules is determined by that decorating team every year. That's one of the things that it just intrigues me. I would love to get a sneak peek in, uh, to the areas, to the warehouses. I remember there being a show on TV many years ago that featured those specific areas and how that incredible team gets everything set up every year. And I know last year we had stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge for just one night at the start of a trip with the idea of we would see the tree because it's almost always one of the first ones up, or at least so we thought at the time. And this trip was, I think, around the 20th of November last year. And wouldn't you know, they put it up the day after we left.
Oh, no.
So So we are well aware that they have a staggered schedule of when the trees pop up. It's one thing that I love following online and different Facebook groups and just see what people are talking about for, oh, this went up overnight, and it's always
Mhm.
highly anticipated in each resort. So,
Yes. So if you're staying at one of those, and you do get to see the transformation, it will be a nice surprise when you get up in the morning. One
and
other
share
thing.
pictures with us. If you take pictures, share them
Yeah.
with us because we would love to see them. We love having feedback from our friends out there who are listening, and it gives you the ability to have a little more participation in our conversation here. And we always enjoy that.
Yes, absolutely. So, something else that was also announced very recently is that the new signage for Zootopia Better Zoogether was posted. And so this will feature a standby and a lightning lane queue, which, of course, by the time that you will hear this, the attraction will be back open for almost a month at this point. But they did put the sloth from the franchise. I'm sorry, I do not know his name. It's been a couple of years since I've seen Zootopia. My kids really enjoy it. They want to see the second one, but they put the sloth over the lightning lane queue, which I thought was a very fun nod to a notoriously slow creature that he is
That's pretty
over.
funny.
Yeah, the lightning lane queue. So good job, Disney Imagineering, on doing that. So I'm curious to see
And
how
you're
this will
talking
go.
about this is the show that's in the Tree of Life, right?
Yes, this
Is
is
that
the
where
show
that's
in the
going?
Tree of
Okay, it's
Life.
where It's Tough to Be a Bug had always
Yes.
previously been, and that closed, and now it's going to be the Zootopia theme show. Okay.
Yes.
Took me a minute to get it there where we
Yes,
were.
yeah, so yes, so the signage has been revealed, and, it will be it was interesting, I think, to see a lightning lane queue, so they are anticipating some crowds there, but, it's something that we'll plan on doing when we go on our trip, towards the end of November, so hopefully I can report back after this episode and tell you, how that went and what we thought of the show. I will miss It's Tough to Be a Bug, but, I understand that that was kind of a terrifying experience for young children.
We were actually escorted out of that show at one time when Gracie was just too terrified, and
Yeah.
the very kind cast members were prepared with their flashlights. They shined their lights down our row at our feet so we could see to climb out around those who were seated near us, and apologized all the way as our child screamed at the giant spider or whatever. I don't even know what it was at the time. There was a She went through an era that she was afraid of pretty much any insect type thing in the park. So even on Splash Mountain, when there'd be the area with the bees, she would be terrified of the bees. The drop, no problem at all. The sound of the bees humming terrified her. So,
Yes.
but yeah. So hopefully, even though we have some interaction with the type show it'll be for Zootopia, hopefully it won't be as frightening as as the poor
Yes.
bugs were.
Hopefully no spiders dropping down from the ceiling, so, over at Disneyland on November 14th, Deadpool returned to share some special seasonal stories, for the holidays at Disneyland. And I think huge news that came out is that Disney Cruise Line offered the first look at the installed Storybook Castle on board the Disney Adventure. This will be the first castle showpiece on any Disney Cruise Line ship. And the pictures of it are just beautiful. It is 3 decks tall, which I think is pretty amazing.
It is much larger than I anticipated. In the photos that they did put out for us to see, uh, up in the top right of the photo that I saw, there's a man lift. You could tell it, from a construction crew because it's all a work in progress on this new ship. And you can see the size of the lift, and then there's a man looking out a window towards the lift. You can see this guy's head. I don't know if they realized that when they put the photo out, but just seeing the size of him up there as compared to the castle, it gives you an idea of how big that feature is there on the Disney Adventure. So it's exciting to see. And, with the brand new Disney Adventure or Disney Destiny now sailing, and then the highly anticipated Disney Adventure is now scheduled to sail this coming March of 2026. So we're excited to learn
Yeah.
more about that as it gets closer too.
Yes, and this will be in the Disney Imagination Garden area on board. From the photos of that I saw when the Storybook Castle was shown, it looks kind of like if you're familiar with the Oasis class on Royal Caribbean, it looks kind of like the Central Park area.
That's
A lot of
exactly what I
foliage.
thought. The
Yes.
layout of the ship overall seems very similar to those royal ships that have that central area, the Central Park
Mhm.
area in the middle of the ship that's open, and then the back where I guess it's the boardwalk or surfside areas of the Oasis and Icon class ships. So
Yes, and Missy and I are huge fans of those ships too, so we're excited to see how the Disney Adventure will take on all of this. All right, with that, let's get started and we'll head on into our foodie guides.
So let's start with Jollywood Nights. Now, Jollywood Nights is a separate ticketed event that you can purchase for Disney's Hollywood Studios. And the dates for this year are November 8th through the 22nd. So at this point, we're about halfway through the Jollywood Nights. So a lot of people have already experienced these tasty treats that are available. I have never done Jollywood Nights before. Have you, Rachel?
No, I have not either.
Okay. So all of this information, just want to keep it clear. We're getting this from the information that Disney released for us online. So we're just sharing with you what we've read they're going to have. We're not trying to pretend that we've been there and tried any of this. So this is more of just us kind of looking through to see, is this something that we think we'd be interested in, that would be worth it for us to do on our own or with our families going forward. So Rachel, do you want to start? Was there anything in particular you saw when you looked through, or do you just kind of want to start? Let's go location by location,
Well, we can go by location by
what
location.
they
I do wanna
have.
mention, Disney announced that there will be 82 exclusive bites there,
Okay, we are
and
not
30.
talking about all 82 things, are we? Because
No, we're
I'm
not
not
talking about
ready
all
for
82
that.
things. We are not talking about all 82 things. No, not at
That's a
all.
lot of
But,
things. It also should
Disney
be
knows.
mentioned, these things are for purchase. These are not
Yes,
we are not saying you get these things complimentary with your park ticket purchase. This is, you pay to get
yes.
into the park, which is typically, I mean, it's usually close to $200 at least, depending on the day, once the tax included. So it's a pricey ticket per person to get in to begin with. It is a party that's supposed to be a little more upscale. You're supposed to be a little fancy. A lot of people go a little sparkly in their best holiday wear. I think that's one of the things that has kind of steered me away from it, because it would really take ideal, perfect weather for me to want to dress up and go to a park at night. I love the idea. I would love to go and see it. And I'm sure there are people who do that, who don't dress up and just go and enjoy the party and kind of people watch and see what everybody else is doing to get all glamored up. That's a lot of fun. It's just not something that I thought personally was worth the nearly $200 ticket cost for the
Right.
event.
I think my biggest thing, is traveling with young children, and this is still a family-friendly event, I do wanna make that clear, but, it does cater kind of more towards adults, so I think that for us is probably the bigger drawback when it comes to it, but I do know people who absolutely love this event, and I think Disney has put a lot of work into making this a premier event for guests, and they obviously are continuing to do work with 82 different exclusive bites, 35 of them being brand new this year. Disney knows people love to go and eat, and so they are catering to that. But let's start ABC commissary. One thing that stuck out to me there was a Mexican hot cocoa cheesecake. I do enjoy cheesecake. They have a couple of cheesecake flavored items there, but this one includes a holiday chocolate cookie streusel, whipped cinnamon chocolate cheesecake, which sounds delicious, and a spiced whipped cream topped with cinnamon and mini marshmallows. And it comes in a cute little cup presentation for you to enjoy that too. It does look like a cup of hot cocoa where the cheesecake is.
So I love that they make these things cute, and I love that some of them have cute names. And this next item is one of those with a cute name. It's called the Taco Bell a Holiday Cookie. And it's described as a cranberry cheesecake filled chocolate cookie dipped in cranberry white chocolate, topped with pistachio whipped cream, gold crispy pearls, chocolate holly leaf decor, and holiday sprinkles.
That sounds wonderful too. So ABC Commissary, I believe, has, as far as the parks go, has upped their food game, and it looks like this will be the place to get desserts that night
And I
for
think
that.
they do have some actual tacos too. So that seems to be their theme there. And I think that it's
Mhm.
not just taco look-alike things. It's
Yeah.
things that actually are tacos, empanadas. So with street corn. So uh that seems to be the theme of that stop there at ABC
Yes.
Commissary. They also have an old fashioned. And I am typically a fan of an old fashioned, but they're the type of drink I'm not going to wander around a park and drink an old fashioned. So I would need to have a bench to sit on and relax and enjoy the sights around me, or a table in a restaurant or something like that. I don't really see myself grabbing an old fashioned at the commissary. but I mean,
Yeah,
maybe.
and I'll note this too. They have several alcoholic beverages and some non-alcoholic beverages. It seems almost like this is taking the life of food booths at Epcot, where you have
Mhm.
food options and then beverages as well. So I think that's pretty interesting. But it looks several of these options do look really good. But I think after looking at the hot cocoa cheesecake, even though it's something to eat, I think I would want something warm there to finish that off with.
Yeah. It depends because if it's still like 80 degrees
That's
out,
true.
then I don't
If
want
it's 90
something warm.
degrees, no.
I easily fool myself when planning Christmas trips at Disney to think the weather's actually going to be cool. And sometimes it is, and it's amazing. And sometimes it's not, and it's a totally different type experience because, layer off your flannel outfits
Yeah.
and
Well,
fleece
and
and whatever else you have because it's time to or the mini I still have, I just don't wear it as often, one of those mini ears Santa hats. I've had it for ages. I can remember wearing it on my first Christmas trip years ago, and I would just get so hot every time I wore it. I was so hot. Ugh. Anyway.
well, that's a good point too, that, when the sun goes down sometimes during this time of year, it can get very chilly, especially if, even if during the day it's about 80 degrees and it's beautiful outside. Once the sun goes down, it will get pretty chilly, and, you will see lines for sweatshirts form because people are not prepared for the
Mhm.
weather. We have a bit of an advantage having a stroller with us. I usually take a packing cube and, condense it down and put some sweatshirts in there and throw it at the
Mhm.
bottom of the stroller for us, but, if you don't have that option and you're not carrying a backpack with you, don't worry, the stores will be happy to sell you a sweatshirt.
Okay, Rachel, what's next on your list there?
So the gingerbread bites over at Anaheim Produce, they caught my eye. I thought I think it's interesting because they look almost like croutons, if that's possible, if you
Mhm.
see the photos of them, but they come in a brown paper bag with a gingerbread stamp on it, and I thought, that's kind of a cute little nod with a lot of the decorations at Hollywood Studios having a very vintage theme that this looks very vintage-esque, almost kind of like you're getting a bag of popcorn somewhere and going to enjoy it on a night out with your friends, but instead you have gingerbread bites. So, if you have tried those, please let us know how those are. I'm curious, are they more of a hard gingerbread or are they kind of a soft, doughy type
They and they're
concoction?
good. They seem like they'd be a great grab and go type option before you go wait in a line. So right there on
Yes.
Sunset Boulevard, if you're heading out to Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster, it'd be something you can grab and take with you and not really need to worry about too much of a mess with that.
Yeah.
Not
What's
like
next on
the
yours?
I was just gonna say it's, not like the, Hickory Holiday Mac from over at Backlot Express. So Backlot Express is always a popular option with my family because you can almost always find a table in there, and Christmas time is one of the times a year that I can almost always sit outside and it be a comfortable temperature. In the I hate to be hot when I eat. I don't know if I've told you that before. I may have said it 100 times because I want to be comfortable when I'm eating, or I'm just not going to eat because I won't enjoy the food. I feel yucky when it's hot when I eat. So Backlot Express has a lot of outdoor seating. They may have more outdoor seating than they do indoor, I think. Depends because
I
that one wing is kind of big, but I've been in there before when it was completely full. I think this July
Mhm.
we were there and there was absolutely nowhere inside to sit. And I said that I'm not eating outside. We ended up switching and headed over to 50's Cafe to have lunch instead because it wasn't working well for us. But I can remember several trips at Christmas time being outside and eating at Backlot Express. So the holiday mac is macaroni and cheese with burnt ends, crispy onions, and chili pepper sauce, and that's a new item for this year. So that sounds pretty good. They also have a Jolly Jam slider, which is an Angus burger with bourbon garlic bacon jam and paprika aioli and chili pepper sauce, and that's served on a Hawaiian roll and is also something new. So uh, both of those actually sound good to me. The sleigh bell Brussels sprouts on the menu aren't really something that sounds too exciting to me. They
I would
come
eat
with the
those.
bourbon onion jam and crispy onions. My husband loves Brussels sprouts, so he would probably be delighted if I offer that as an option, but are you a Brussels sprout fan, Rachel?
I am as
I
if they're
think you
crispy, I
mentioned
love
that
a good
once before.
crispy Brussels sprout. So,
Okay.
if they're kind of oily and slimy, no, not appealing at all, but, this I would try it. I would absolutely try it.
And these are I mean, it comes with crispy onions, so as long
Yeah,
as they're not too
maybe
drenched in the bourbon onion jam to get soggy and, if they stay crispy, that maybe you'll like them.
yeah.
Um, there's also the sweet chili cheer chicken slider, which are chicken thighs tossed with sweet chili aioli topped with Asian slaw and cilantro, and that's served on a brioche bun. So, uh, lots of new options there this
Yeah,
year for
they have an
Jollywood Night.
entirely new menu, and then for dessert, you can get a holly jolly bread pudding, which is bread pudding with, chocolate hazelnut spread and cherry sprinkles and a chocolate gingerbread man. Plus they have a drink menu too. They do have a figgy pudding martini, which sounds interesting. It has fig flavored vodka, which I had absolutely no idea that there was ever a thing called, like, fig flavored vodka. It's a pretty
No, no.
unique flavor profile, with some fig jam, agave, half and half, ginger beer, and allspice, garnished with nutmeg. I love allspice. I mean, I actually love I've had several cocktails with an allspice dram before, and those are delicious. So, this would be something that I might let my husband get, and I try. So,
So
he's
two
much more
things
into figs than I am.
I have 2 comments on the beverage menu here. First of all, I think it's hilarious that you have something as detailed as this figgy pudding martini, and like you just mentioned, the fig flavored vodka. Who knew that was even a thing before? And then another item on the list is also new, Miller High Life Lager. Like, wow! Now I'm sure there are people out there who'd be thrilled by it. Again, that's my husband would probably go hang out there and have the Brussels sprouts and the High Life. Uh, but again, it's funny to see it mentioned on the menu as a new thing. But I have to
Yes.
say, when I hear figgy pudding martini, when you hear figgy pudding, Rachel, does it bring up any memories for you of any Disney shows? No, okay, you're not with me. Are you a Prep and Landing fan? Are you not a Prep and Landing fan?
Okay, my kids watched the first few episodes, and I thought it was a terribly boring I mean, so it makes me think of
Okay, so
didn't
everybody, thanks for tuning in. Rachel and I will no longer be speaking to each other ever again. The only other option is for her to go watch all of the shows right now
I guess
and
I have to
become an
watch them
instant
all. Well,
fan.
now that Halloween as of today will be over, we will start our
You can
Christmas
start.
show rotation.
So, Prep and Landing first came out when my kids were pretty small. They were absolutely the perfect age, and I was excited for there to be something new because you don't often get new Christmas shows for the kids to
Mhm.
watch. They were too little at the time for something like Elf or Christmas Vacation. And of course, those are favorites now, but Prep and Landing will always be something special to us. And that's another thing that I know they have during the party is the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam show there. Uh, and that I believe is still a Prep and Landing theme show. It always had been. And I was
Mhm.
super excited when they announced earlier this year about the new one that's coming out. So most likely by the time this is airing, I will have already seen it multiple times. And so will have
I guess I
Rachel.
will watch it too. We'll put that on my
Yeah.
list, but I can do that one
They're
at
just
home.
so
So
cute. And anyway, figgy pudding is one of their sayings. So, and it's something that
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
they have
It
cute little usage of some words. So it's,
gotcha.
you
It just
watch it.
makes me think of Disney's A Christmas Carol. I know that with the one with Scrooge McDuck, they do sing "We Wish You Merry Christmas" and they talk about figgy pudding in the song. So that's all it makes me think of.
Well, you'll have some new memories after you appropriately watch all of the Prep and Landing episodes. All right, I guess we can move on to Baseline Tap House next, and
Yeah,
they have
nothing new
some.
there this year. There's some mac and cheese croquettes.
Mhm.
That sounds delicious. I love a good mac and cheese. So this is blend of pepper jack gouda and cheddar with a spicy aioli dipping sauce, as well as a beer margarita where you can get with Patron silver tequila, some liqueurs, lime juice, and it comes with a North Coast Brewing Company Scrimshaw Pilsner.
Nothing super exciting there. I
Yeah,
really don't even have anything to say about that.
I don't either. So
Okay. But what's next is so adorable, and that's over at Dino Gertie's Ice Cream of Extinction. Uh, Returning this year is the Christmas Gertie cookie, which is just a sugar cookie with the Santa hat on it. But you really can't go wrong with a classic Christmas sugar cookie. They're a pretty nostalgic thing, quintessential holiday cookie. But this one in particular is Gertie the dinosaur that we all know resides there at Echo Lake. I could argue that Echo Lake is the most festive area of any of the parks at the holidays, with the giant tree lit up at nighttime. I'm talking nighttime
Mhm.
in particular. The ornaments in the water, the way the tree and the ornament reflects, it's just so sparkly and magical there. I love it with the nostalgic decorations all around, a lot of tinsel and garland type things, very sparkly. So I love that there, and I love this cookie. I have never actually eaten it. I don't know how it tastes, but I love that they have a classic Christmas cookie that is special to that specific area. So most
It's
people
really
probably wouldn't
cute.
put dinosaurs and Christmas hats together and think of Hollywood Studios, but it works. It works for
Yes.
me,
I think if Gertie went away, I think there really you really would see an uproar from Disney fans. We love Gertie, so I love the cookies too.
which is so
I haven't
bizarre.
had them, but I love yes.
Like, think about that for a minute. Here you are in Hollywood Studios, and you've got a giant dinosaur. Why?
It works, it fits, it's totally fine.
Does
Uh,
it though? I don't know. I love Gertie. Don't take Gertie away, but I just don't understand Gertie. So, is there there must be a backstory. I'm sure there's a backstory. I don't, and I
so
think
I
I
do
used
know
to know
Gertie
it.
the dinosaur was one of the very first animated characters that would be shown in theaters, that it was kind of like a live
Okay.
interaction that they had an actor that they filmed, and then they drew Gertie in the background. So I think that is where this is coming from. They
Wow.
kind of nod to old original Hollywood. And now where the ice cream part comes in, I don't know. But that's all I can think of, is that connection
Okay.
between Gertie the dinosaur, who was one of the very first animated characters to be shown on
Okay, I
film.
had no idea. You could be totally making that up. If not, I'm very impressed that you just knew that because, as we've told all of our friends listening many times, this is not prepped. We don't know what we're going to say, and that was not something I had scheduled to ask Rachel about.
She
So
did
I'm
not
kind
set
of
me up for
surprised that
that
she
one.
knows what it is. That yeah, that it would have been a good setup, but that was for real. So go, Rachel.
Right,
Wow.
I'm gonna take a bow now. Continuing on with Echo Lake, we do have Dockside Diner next. No new food items there. They have a Christmas tree cookie stack, which again, so you can get your cookie fix over around Echo Lake with some vanilla cookies with with pistachio buttercream, cranberry and raspberry jam, topped with sprinkles and a yellow candy star. There's a three-layer cookie with some cream in the middle, I guess pistachio flavor. So I think that's probably going to be a very particular flavor style. Might not be very kid friendly, depending on how sweet that pistachio cream is.
I have a feeling
There
it's
are
pretty
also
sweet.
oh, is it
There
okay?
there no, I have a feeling. I
Oh,
haven't had it, but I just feel like it's the type of thing that would have a pretty sweet buttercream. It's hard to have buttercream and not have it be sweet,
That is
really.
true, and I guess
I
if
don't
you
know.
have cranberry and raspberry jam put in there too, that adds to
Right.
the flavor. There is a new Stroopwafel bourbon coffee that is located there this year with some Kentucky straight bourbon, salted caramel syrup, half and half, some cold brew coffee, and a caramel sauce garnished with a crushed waffle. So that is the only new item over in that location. But if that sounds more up your
Delicious. That
alley for
sounds
yeah.
delicious is what that sounds like. I want that.
Yeah. That will help keep you awake for the long hours of Jollywood
That's true.
night.
Or it will put me to sleep. It could go either
Yes,
way.
that too.
Although I could remember the first time I ever had an an alcoholic coffee drink was at La Cava. Back when they used to have the frozen coffee margaritas, they were so good. And this is going back probably 2012, 2013 probably. And, I had one for it was a day I flew in. I was just going to the hotel for the night, but decided to run over to Epcot quick. Had one at Epcot, did not sleep. I was up giggling with the friends I was traveling with the entire night. It was a silly time, and I learned, okay, so coffee will still keep you awake even if there's alcohol. Usually alcohol kinda knocks me out, so but yeah, that sounds delicious with the
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace, bourbon and the caramel and yeah, okay. Yum. Now I got sidetracked there. Okay, so there's also, I don't think these are new, but they have a s'mores funnel cake and a spicy Korean chicken funnel cake over at Epic Eats It. at Echo Lake, and they also have a warm spice chai cocktail there that has some rum
Yes.
chata in it, and
That
vanilla and
would be
cinnamon.
my up my alley. That'd be
That's for
exactly
you,
what
huh?
I would. Yeah, I do. I love a chai tea, and, rum chata is very good. I can't have a liqueur, I can't drink a lot of, it's just a little bit too thick for me, but, it looks like a very good drink mixed in with the rum chata with the chai tea, some vanilla and cinnamon. That does sound very festive to me.
It does sound good. I mean, I wouldn't turn one down if somebody handed it to me,
Right, absolutely.
especially if it was one of those chilly nights you claim happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, over at Fairfax Fair on Sunset Boulevard, they have a holiday turkey popover, which is roasted turkey and creamy mashed potatoes topped with gravy and cranberry chutney, and that's in a house-made popover. And there's also a just the sides popover, which is mac and cheese, some collard greens, and cornbread crumbs in a house-made popover. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. That's not new either, so maybe that was a hit last year.
I guess it must have been. And then new this year at that location is the raspberry lemon square, which is lemon filling topped with raspberry, powdered sugar, and glazed raspberries. So that sounds good also.
Yeah, and for beverages, they have eggnog because what would a holiday party be without eggnog? So
You
you
got to
can get
have the
traditional.
nog.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
Don't
they have
hog the
traditional
nog,
eggnog
Rachel.
and, eggnog with Fireball cinnamon whiskey as well, and they do have also a mistletoe martini that is made with vodka, elderflower liqueur, and some cranberry juice. So, honestly, the, martini would be my first choice over the nog. Um,
Yeah, I would say so. And it would
yeah.
probably be my first choice at the event in general, if it was not a cooler night. So I have a
Yes.
feeling that would be what I would be heading towards there.
So continuing on Sunset Boulevard over at Hollywood Scoops. So if you're in that area where Fairfax Fair, Hollywood Scoops, those are all right there together. Lots of outdoor seating located there. This year they do have some Muppet themed food items. You could get a Kermit mint whirl or a Miss Piggy strawberry lamb. So these are kind of cheesecake. They've got some cheesecake, some ice cream blended in, some M&Ms. Kermit's has green and Miss Piggy's has pink. Go figure. Now, these are served in a souvenir cup. It does say that the souvenir cup is while supplies last. So I imagine there's only so many of these souvenir cups, and Disney might anticipate several of them going pretty quickly. They do have Kermit and Miss Piggy located on the cups themselves.
Rachel, are you
So
a
the
fan of boba pearls? Have you had them?
it's not something I actively seek out, but it's not if it is in an item, I'm okay with it.
Ugh, I just think they're so yucky. You may be too young, but when I was a kid, we had what we called bath oil beads, which were like an oil that
Yes.
inside of like a little, they were bigger than what these are, but that's what they
Mhm.
remind me of. And I just can't get over that. Like, I feel like
I
if
know
I eat them,
exactly
they'll
what
be
you're talking
soapy.
about.
I've had them. It's a texture thing, I guess, for me. Kids love them. I mean, they're popular all over and they look fun, but I mean, they kind of look like fish eggs. Okay.
They do, yes. You're not wrong on that. I guess for me, I don't know, it's kind of it's one of those things, if they're in a drink, you just kinda slurp it up, and I don't really pay it much attention to it
Okay.
except for, "Oh, that was kind of a weird texture for temporarily," but,
You're so much more
yeah.
adventurous than me, actually. I think
Like
I'm
I said, not
sensitive
something I
today.
actively seek out, but it's also not something. However, I would say I don't know that I would actively seek out either of these 2 items anyway. I'm not a huge mint chocolate chip ice cream fan. That's what Kermit's ice cream has.
Mhm.
And Miss Piggy has strawberry cheesecake and strawberry ice cream. I do like both of those, but I think there's better food items on the menu this year,
Well, we
at
can
other
team up there
locations.
because I would be a big fan of the mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I'm not a strawberry fan, so
Well, there we
we
go.
we would have it
1
all
each.
covered there.
There's also a Yuletide scoop that you can get there with vanilla ice cream and Kahlua coffee liqueur and some vanilla vodka topped with whipped cream and a cherry. So that is there too. I'm curious how the presentation looks online. It looks really nice and festive, but so that's another option. If you don't like mint or strawberry, you could go and get the Yuletide scoop instead.
That would work, yeah. So there's also a mint chocolate cold brew over at Ice Cold Hydraulics, and then a mint chocolate cold brew with rum there as well, which is something new. And those are both Joffrey's coffees over there. So that's exciting. They also have the gingerbread bites there and a Jolly gingerbread mini churro option there, which is gingerbread churros with chocolate hazelnut sauce and some holiday sprinkles on them. So that's fun too.
Yeah, and if you're typically a Starbucks person, because you can find Starbucks at the parks, don't overlook the Joffrey stands because they do take part in these festivals and the parties that they will have something seasonal located at the Joffrey stand. We typically prefer Joffrey's over Starbucks at the parks, but I think that's just kind of one of those things that's special for us, and there's not quite the line that you find at Starbucks.
So, something here that I could go either way on. I'm not sure how I feel about it. They have an option for jazzy holidays at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Now, typically, when people are purchasing a party ticket, I wouldn't recommend spending time at a sit down restaurant for any length of time because you're spending time there that you couldn't elsewhere. But it does seem like they have some party specific things here. And I guess if you're getting all dressed up, Hollywood Brown Derby would be the one place in the park that I would feel you should go. So, I mean,
Right.
maybe, but uh, I don't know if I'd really want to spend the time there. And they have a whole list of things, a giant list of things. I don't know if they have anything new there this year, except a few drinks that are new. There's a poinsettia frizz, which is a Grand Marnier and cranberry juice, simple syrup, prosecco, garnished with cranberries. That basically sounds like my December. Just that's what I drink in December, all those things. So that sounds
Right.
ideal for me. So maybe I would go there and just have that.
Well, and it wasn't that very popular when the first year that Jollywood Nights took place to have these reservations.
I think it
Um,
was, and you
yeah.
should, well, it says reservations recommended, but I would imagine they'd be very difficult to get if you didn't have them. So I would
Yes.
almost
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
reservations required unless you just happen to hit the timing just right there. So
Right, and I could be mistaken. I thought maybe the first year was a walk-up list or there was something going on, that maybe now that's why they have reservations that you could get. I remember being something that was very popular to try to get in the Brown Derby, but you had to try to get into the Brown Derby, so maybe
right.
it was a walk-up list at that time. I
It
don't
could have
quite
been.
remember. If you do, please let us know, how the Brown Derby worked on that, but now you can get reservations. And yes, beverages are the only new menu item this year, but they have quite the beverage list too.
They do. There's a lot there. We won't go through it all because it's so much.
Yeah.
We'll be here for hours, and you probably don't want to hear all that anyway. Rachel, what is KRNR, the rock station on Sunset Boulevard? Where is that? I mean, I'm assuming
So
it's
back over where Rock and Roller Coaster is located, there is a food stand. Now, typically
okay.
they may have just beverages. I think they have nachos sometimes, popcorn. It
Okay.
is easy to overlook. There's restrooms located over near that area. It's close to the exit of the ride. So
I
that
know
is
exactly where
where,
it is. I just never
yeah.
realized it had a name.
Yes.
I
Yeah, I
really
didn't realize
didn't.
it had a name either, but, and it is very easy to overlook unless you're sitting there and waiting on people, you probably wouldn't even pay attention to it being there, but they do have exactly what I would go for, which would be sangria. So
Okay. Spiced apple sangria also, so very
yes.
tasty, but they also have a white cranberry margarita, so
And,
I would have trouble
so
at this entire event choosing which drink I wanted.
yes. So back a couple of years ago at, Disney Springs, they had a cranberry paloma over at Dockside Margaritas, which was absolutely fantastic and amazing. And it honestly, the white cranberry margarita, the way that the description is, reminds me of the cranberry paloma that they had at Dockside. It was a special cranberry paloma, but it was probably one of the best beverages that I've had on Disney property overall.
Wow.
And I went
Okay.
last year to try to find it, and they did not have it there. So bring that back, please.
So in the market over at Animation Courtyard, they have some spring rolls and a Mike Aroon, which is a toasted coconut cookie with green white chocolate topped with a sugar eye. I wonder what Mike that's themed after.
Yeah, and I guess they're preparing you for the new Monstropolis that will be coming
That's right.
not
So
too long down
if
the
you're a
road.
Mike Wazowski fan, then that might be the place to go. And they do have a couple drinks there too. That looks like they have three drinks that are new on the menu: a Bing Bong candy lemonade, a caramel apple cider, and the caramel apple cider with moonshine. So they all sound like tasty drinks too.
There is
Well, I'd
also
be
a
in trouble at this event. I can't
you
afford to go to this
yeah,
event. My liver can't
right.
afford it. My wallet can't afford it.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
these are very impressive menus, and food and beverage menus. So good job, Jollywood Nights. You might get us there after all. Over at Pretzelpalooza on Sunset Boulevard, which I could not tell you where Pretzelpalooza is located, but they have a guava and cream cheese casito, which is cream cheese and guava baked in a flaky puff pastry. The photo looks amazing. It almost looks like a turnover. And then they also have the gingerbread bites there. So the gingerbread bites, hopefully they're good because you can get them at several
they're all over the
locations.
place. So yeah,
They are.
I didn't realize how many places they were at until we started going through here.
Yeah.
Because you can also get them over at the Trolley Car Cafe at the near the Hollywood Tower Hotel. At that location, they have a Duffy brownie, which is a brownie with a few things on it, and then it has a caramel chocolate Duffy paw print, and then they have the gingerbread bites there also. So those are available kind of all over.
Yeah.
And they have several new things over at the Tune In Lounge on Echo Lake, and that's the one inside the Primetime 50s Cafe, right?
Yes, yeah, it
50s
is, and I know
Cafe in Hollywood and Vine.
that's a popular lounge to begin with. A lot of people enjoy going over there. From what I understand, they have fantastic bartenders that a lot of people make friends with over there. I've not been in the lounge myself. I've seen the lounge. We go over to 50s Prime Time about every other trip, but yes, this is located inside 50s Prime Time, and they have, what, 5 beverages for the
Yeah,
party
we
on
have
their menu,
discovered a
3 of them are
beverage
new.
that I don't need to worry about purchasing because there's no way I drink it. I don't wanna be in the proximity of it, and it is the Holiday Dill Light that, amongst other things, has some pickle juice in it, and, that's a big no for me, but I'm sure there are
Yep.
people out there who would absolutely love that, and that's at the top of their new miss menu.
Yes, you and me both. You never have to worry about me trying the pickle milkshake at Epcot either. So, Tropical Tidings is much more up my alley with some coconut rum, curacao liqueur, some peach schnapps liqueur, cranberry juice, and a ginger beer with a shredded coconut rim. That one I might keep off the coconut rim. It's not the taste; it's the texture. So, but everything else sounds really good.
And they also have a winter spice Long Island iced tea. Did you see that? That sounds pretty
I
good. So it
did.
seems similar to a regular Long Island iced tea, except they're adding in some lemon juice, cinnamon syrup, and cranberry juice along with Sprite. So it's you've got a lot of liquors mixed in there, and then with those on top rather than some Coke, and then you've got a lemon wheel to top it off. So that sounds good too. And then there's
Uh-huh.
the in holiday fashion, another old fashioned option with some cranberry also. So there seems to be old fashioned menus all over the place. So this is my kind of event. And there's a sugar cookie martini also. That one's also not new. The old fashioned and the martini were there last year, but they seem tasty too.
Yeah, absolutely. And over at Twilight Soiree at the Tip Top Club, this is another very popular spot during the party. There are 3 beverages that you could find there. There is a sparkling pomegranate apple cider, which is a non-alcoholic beverage option, some pomegranate green tea topped with sparkling apple cider. So that sounds very interesting. I think I would actually try that. But you have a 1939 Royale and a top floor daiquiri that both are served in souvenir champagne flutes while supplies last for you on those 2. But, all of that sounds great to me. It's just a matter of getting into the Tip Top Club.
All right. And then there are several outdoor vending areas that little stands that have some different things that are found at other locations also that we've already covered. And one of the big things I think would be the novelties available in different areas through the park. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas Mayor Sipper is one of them. And that's available at Rosie's All American Cafe and Dockside Diner. And then there's a Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Jack Skellington Gravestone Bucket. And of course, these are available while supplies last. So you never know if they'll sell out the first night or if they'll have them through the season and then you'll see them discounted after. It's hard to tell, but that's available at popcorn buckets throughout the park. So there are some
Yeah.
kid pick options too, some different food things at each location for the kiddos that they may enjoy better than the specific ones we found. But that's an awful lot of food for just at that one event. So
Yes. So much food. So, not to be outdone by food, we also have Mickey's, if I can speak, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party food. That was a little bit of a tongue twister there.
It was.
So
You had a little trouble with that, huh?
yeah,
So
I
this
did.
year's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party runs from November 7th to December 21st. So we are more than halfway through, or about halfway through them at this point. If you've been there, maybe you have some comments on some of these special food items for us. If not, maybe you'll be interested in one of these in the future. So where do you want to start there, Rachel?
All right, so we have nearly 40 new bites. They don't have the total number of how many there are from there, but Main Street Bakery, let's start right down the middle of Main Street, USA.
That's the
And
place to start each and every
it is a
time.
good place to start. So they do have a new Christmas wreath cupcake. We know we in particular, we're huge fans of the cupcakes at Walt Disney World. We know we have a lot of friends who are also as well. They usually always have some great seasonal cupcakes that you can find at the resorts, some resort specific cupcakes. But this one does have a wreath on top with a bow on the very top, and then the bottom center is a silver Mickey shaped. Let's see if I can find what that is. I don't see what that is made out of, but it will be edible.
I'm not
And
sure either.
so it's probably hard sugar, I would guess. Maybe
It
chocolate.
looks
I
like
don't
it,
know.
yes,
Yeah.
because the sprinkles on it kind of look like the pearls, like the
Yes.
sugar pearls, so it seems like it'd be
Mhm.
something along those lines, and they have a, Mickey cinnamon roll there that they put some holiday colored icing on, and they call that a holiday treat too, which is never a bad choice, but you could probably do better than just some different colored icing on your cinnamon roll. Possibly head a little further down the street to the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, where they have a Santa hat brownie sundae. So that's going to be
Yes.
uh, a brownie with vanilla ice cream and some crushed up peppermint and hot fudge and whipped cream. And there'll be a velvet cone with a marshmallow pom pom on it available during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party only.
So go with me here. That is very cute. Baskin Robbins, when I was a kid, had something called clown cones.
Okay.
And you would find that they would have a freezer of them, and it was shaped like this, where you have the cone upside down and the scoop of
Mm-hmm.
ice cream, and they would draw like a little clown face on it.
On there.
And this exactly what this looks like to me, except for it's a Santa hat. So there's some nostalgic memories coming back for, for me. I hate clowns, love clown cones.
I don't think I've ever had one at Baskin Robbins, but I have seen that type of thing before, and I feel like there's somewhere at Disney that did something like that in a way, but I can't place exactly what or where it was. It may have been something at Beaches and Cream at one time, but a fun little kitty type Sunday. So you can also opt to get a milkshake as a little bit easier of a grab and go option there. They have a gingerbread milkshake uh, there at the parlor, and that's vanilla ice cream and gingerbread syrup and a gingerbread crumbs. And then you can have whipped cream on that too. And they stick a gingerbread man on top. He's a chocolate gingerbread man on it. So that's cute too.
Yeah. Plus, the restaurant also has some new menu items, and I will note that these are available during the Christmas party and regular park hours. So, we have said during this episode, we don't really recommend wasting time going to a sit down meal, but this might be a good idea if these interest you to maybe make a reservation kind of between that in between time where you can get in for the party, but the party hasn't officially started yet. So maybe a 5 o'clock dinner, and then you're set to go for the rest of the party. But there is a holiday beef pot roast located there, a holiday turkey meatloaf, and you can finish that off with a pistachio and cherry cheesecake. So, the beef pot roast looks very yummy. And I know in previous years when they've had pot roast on menus at other restaurants, that is always usually a fan favorite. The turkey meatloaf looks like a big, thick steak, to be honest with you. And it has a cranberry barbecue sauce located on that. So, the beef pot roast also comes with onion rings or an onion ring.
Hmm.
So, it does look like it's plural. That does look pretty good.
They do seem like they'd be pretty filling options. So if you're looking for
Mhm.
something to have to fuel yourself up so you don't have to stop too much to eat during the party, if you're there more for the rides than for all of the food we're spending all this time talking about today, that works too. And they also have a Cosmo there, I believe, still this year, a holiday
Yep.
cosmopolitan. Um, that sounds tasty. Of course, it has some cranberry and lime seem to be the things that are going along with a lot of our beverages this year. And then, of course, they'll have a sugar rim on that there. So We're still working our way down Main Street here over to
Yes, we
Casey's
are.
Corner next. So they have a holiday pot roast hot dog, which is a beef hot dog with pot roast, beer cheese sauce, crispy onions, and horseradish mustard on it, available just during the party. And also, just for the party, they have a holiday pot roast mini corn dog option. So it's similar type thing, but it's going to be on the mini corn dogs rather than on your actual regular hot dog. And then you could also get those same things on French fries, a holiday pot roast loaded French fries. So they're going all out with the pot roast all over there.
Yes, they are.
Imagine.
Yes, they have a bulk order of pot roast meat on hand, and there's a candy cane tart too, a chocolate tart filled with peppermint ganache. That's a pretty cute little item too. I think I would sip Casey's. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I always skip Casey's. The smell of the
Okay, well, there you
sauerkraut kind
go.
of ruins the Main Street feel for me. I try to avoid it. I'm not, I would be devastated if it were gone because it's a Magic Kingdom staple, but I wouldn't actually miss it because I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever eaten in there in my life.
I have one time with our friend Heidi who was on the show before. It was before it was when they were kind of combining after hours and Christmas parties. I think this was 2021, before they had officially opened up the full blown parties as they were. We were trying to grab a bite there. And let me tell you, it was difficult. We just wanted a place to sit down, and there were so many people just taking up tables with no food, nobody
Mhm.
in line. And that was an experience that night.
Yeah, it's not an ideal place if you want to sit and eat. There are a
Yes.
very limited number of tables, and it's such a prime location there with the view of the castle.
Hmm.
Especially during the evening hours, people are going to kind of be camping out there to try to have that castle view. So, not an ideal place. If you can get a spot there, that's fantastic, but I wouldn't count on it.
Right.
Heading over to Adventureland, many of us are aware of the spring roll cart, and spring rolls are not my favorite thing. I don't personally eat them, but my kids love them. They have a pastrami Reuben spring rolled with Thousand Island sauce that'll be available this year. It's new for the party, and it's during available during the party only. Are you a spring roll
Yeah.
fan, Rachel?
I'm a
No.
spring roll fan. I am not
Okay.
a spring roll cart fan. I have not had one
Okay.
there that I enjoy. So
Okay.
that
I
is
think
my
my
controversial
problem there
Disney
was
opinion for today.
the first one I was ever trying was the last one I ever tried, and it was one of the cheeseburger ones, and the grease
Mhm.
just ran out of that thing. Seeing that orange flow out of it, I was like, "No, I can't do that to myself."
Yes. We have a lot of
Oh,
friends who love those, love them dearly, and,
mhm.
I purchased them on the recommendation, and I did not finish.
Yeah, let them
I
have
threw
them.
them
They're
away.
not ours. No.
Yeah. So,
If you're
no
in the
go.
mood for something Dole Whip, they have a pomegranate Yule float over at Aloha Isle Refreshments in Adventureland. So there's a ginger ale there with Dole Whip pomegranate and vanilla soft serve. And once again, boba pearls. It's pomegranate boba pearls on that and a slice of lime. This is a non alcoholic drink, of course, and it's available new this year at the party. And then there's also a Santa Surf snack float, which is a Minute Maid passion fruit, orange, guava juice. So that's that famous pod juice that many Disney fans enjoy.
Mhm.
Then it's the coconut soft serve and spiced pineapple tree pop stuck in there on the side, on the top of it. It's a non alcoholic drink and it's also available during the Christmas party.
Yes, and if you don't want that during the Christmas party over, you can get a what's called a tropical serenade, which is the same thing, and let me tell you, it is fantastic. So that is one of my top snacks at Disney.
Same thing minus the tree, right? You won't get the
Yes,
pineapple tree top.
it's an upside down, pineapple cake pop.
Okay. So
Yeah,
kind of the same thing, just not the festive theme, but that's fun that they put the
right.
festive spin on it. Over at Golden Oak Outpost in Frontierland, they have some Yuletide chicken strips. I love how we take everything and we throw cranberries on it and call it holiday food.
Right.
Crispy chicken strips with sage butter and cranberry barbecue glaze served with sweet potato fries. I kind of actually love the sound of that.
That
Uh,
those do sound delicious. Yes, I will
Mhm.
agree.
And then they also have beignets over there, light and fluffy beignets dusted with blue sugar cookie dust and served with cookie butter icing. So that sounds tasty.
Yeah,
And
or you can get a gingerbread cola, which is
yeah,
Coca-Cola served with a gingerbread syrup, whipped cream, and festive sprinkles on that too. So kind of a Coke float, I guess, in a way. with some gingerbread syrup. So I think that would be a good flavor together, Coca-Cola and
Yeah.
gingerbread.
Over at Pecos Bill's Tall Tale Inn, there are a few options that are for the party only. There's a rice pudding mousse with citrus chutney, coconut whipped cream, and a chocolate bow that is new. And a hot cocoa with using made by Joffrey's powder. Wow, I think it's hilarious that they put powder in the description. Cinnamon and warm spices with sprinkles and some marshmallow fluff on top. That's a new drink there. That's the Mexican hot chocolate mini churros. Oh, so hold on a minute. I think I was
Oh, that's a
misunderstanding what this
dessert.
was. I was thinking this was a beverage, but now I'm looking at it. This is actually
Okay,
mini
yeah,
churros,
so I
and that so
guess
they're
the
putting the
dough
powder on it? What?
I guess the dough is mixed with the hot cocoa powder. That makes sense. Still not a great description, but that makes sense.
Tossed with hot cocoa by Joffrey's powder, cinnamon, and warm spices. Okay. So yeah, that's a topping
Yeah,
on the churros. All right. Well, that it's
yep,
new. So
and if you
we'll
don't want the
see how
churro,
that
you can get
is.
a frozen hot cocoa instead that is
Yes,
made
you
with
could.
Joffrey's. I'm sure there's powder in there, but
Okay. I kind of feel is the powder I think the powder's like a sprinkle on top, like a flavoring.
so the way that I'm interpreting this is that the dough for the churro is mixed with hot cocoa powder to make it. So they use
I don't
Joffrey's hot
know. It
cocoa to
says Mexican hot chocolate mini churros tossed with hot cocoa by Joffrey's powder,
maybe it is, okay. And
cinnamon, and
cinnamon.
warm
All right.
spices. I don't
So
know.
if you
We'll see
like
what
to
that
eat cocoa powder, here's your thing.
I mean, there have been I can remember times as a kid when I was desperate enough because, like, if we were out of and I say desperate, it was not really desperate times. It was we're out of chocolate syrup and mom's didn't buy any new yet. And at one time I mistakenly took cocoa powder from the baking pantry, not hot cocoa
Oh, not
powder,
the good
but
stuff,
the
yeah.
bitter stuff, and I mixed that
Mhm.
in, and it wasn't that bad. If you mixed it in with the French vanilla ice cream, it ended up being okay, but you had to mix
Okay.
it thoroughly. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of. I know that's not what this is gonna taste like, but it's what it made me think of. So, but let's head over to Liberty Square. They've got a Mickey-shaped whoopie pie there. It's a chocolate whoopie pie with a marshmallow mint in it. So that's
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you can also get that during park hours that will, stay at the Magic Kingdom until January 3rd, 2026, so that is
okay,
something that will be there.
straight through the
Um,
holiday there with that
yeah.
then, and that's a cute one. Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, which is one of my favorite stops because I love how close it is to the castle. It's just a fun place to be and to get a
Mhm.
snack and you can hear the music and it's just always a fun vibe there, I think. They've got some chicken strips there, orange glazed strips. And those are what are glass noodles, Rachel? I don't know.
Those are kind of they're almost I wouldn't even call them noodles. They don't have a noodle consistency or texture. It's almost kind of like a wonton,
Okay.
like a noodle-shaped wonton. It would be the best way that I could describe it. So, they're going to be very light and airy and give a little bit of crunch to that.
Okay, and that's during the party only. And there's funnel cake there. They always have some type of funnel cake there, it seems. So it's a peppermint bark funnel cake during the party. I feel like this is one of those options that's going to be pretty messy because you've got the funnel cake and then they put vanilla ice cream on it and then peppermint and white chocolate sauces. So it's going to be a little gooey and then M&M's candies. It'll be the holiday blend. So that's why this is a Christmassy option. I'm assuming
Yep.
that means red and green and then crushed peppermint. So that's like a lot and sprinkles. That's a lot for on a
Yes.
funnel
Yes, that is a
cake.
lot. That's a very sweet funnel cake. Your children will be on a sugar high for the rest of the evening, so proceed with caution. Over at Columbia Harbor House, you can find a gingerbread cake. So this is a tree-shaped gingerbread chiffon cake with cream cheese frosting, a whipped dulce de leche panna cotta, some crispy pearls, and a chocolate piece. This is also just like the whoopie pie. This will be available through January 3rd during regular hours too. So even if you aren't going to the party, stop by and order one of these. You can get them there.
And over at Pinocchio's Village House, they have a few new items. There's a holiday ravioli, which is a fried breaded ravioli with a marinara sauce. And then there's a basil pesto, parmesan, and some parsley. So that sounds tasty. Something
It
different, a
does.
fried ravioli. I don't remember ever having fried ravioli at the Magic Kingdom before. So
No, not there.
And then they have what they called a snowflake ornament, which is a coconut eggnog mousse with a white chocolate shell and sugared decor. Have you seen a photo of that, Rachel? I don't think I have.
Well, actually, when you go to the Disney Parks blog, that is the first item that you see that is kind of their,
Oh,
that banner item, yeah,
is
so
it
that's what that
blue?
is. Yes, yeah.
Okay. I
So
was wondering what exactly that was. Okay, I have seen it then. Yeah, it
yes.
basically looks like an Elsa treat.
Yeah, it does very much.
So
Speaking
that's why I
of,
didn't
and the
realize it because I was like, where's this Elsa snack on the list? But that's what it is. Okay.
well, speaking of the beverage that they have new this year, it's called a raspberry slushy with Fanta blue
Mm,
raspberry, slushy, coconut cream, and whipped cream, and a sweet blue shredded coconut. So definitely a blue theme that they are playing into at Pinocchio's there. But yeah, the ornament dessert, it looks very good. I'm not a huge eggnog fan, so I don't know that I'd get that, but it's really cute dessert.
They have some new offerings inside at Cinderella's Royal Table, which again, this is a big expense to pay when you've already paid to be in the park, but it does sound pretty delicious. They've got pork belly, lamb chops, some rib Wellington, short rib Wellington, then a hazelnut carriage cake, all which are new this year. And they
Mhm.
also have a cranberry Christmas cocktail, so they are definitely not left out of that trend. And then a cranberry sparkling cocktail also. So if you'd like
Yeah.
to spend time in a restaurant, there's Cinderella's Royal Table, and then Be Our Guest is not to be outdone. They have food items also that are new this year and only available during the party. So,
Yes, and it does say that they do start serving those menu items at 4 p.m. on party days. Again, if you do want a sit down meal, I recommend getting there at 4 and having that meal immediately if you're going to take the time to do a sit down meal because you need to allocate about 90 minutes to 2 hours to your meal.
mhm. And they both have food that sounds really good. They're just time
Yeah.
consuming. So,
Yes, and beverages that sound really good too. So
yes. The Friar's Nook over in Fantasyland has a few new items. They have what they call Pig in the Blanket, which is a Parmesan puff pastry wrapped on an all beef hot dog with crispy onions and honey mustard barbecue sauce, and that's served with tots. Oh, finally something with tots, Rachel.
right, we love
I was
tots.
hoping I'd be able to make a Napoleon Dynamite reference today, being that, as we mentioned, it is Halloween and my daughter Annie is dressed like Napoleon Dynamite today. So I did send a picture of her earlier today to Rachel. I was hoping I get to make a tots joke.
And so I would not recommend though putting these in your pocket. They look like
Right.
they're pretty messy. So
You will
they
finish
also
your
have an
tots there.
yeah, an ugly sweater shake there too. So and it's not very visually appealing except for the Mickey and Pluto piece that's on top of it. But this is a vanilla shake topped with whipped cream, sprinkles, apple caramel sauce, cherry coating, and a chocolate piece. So the chocolate piece has Mickey and Pluto. It looks like a little kind of like a little postal stamp, but that's
Mhm.
really cute. It's much cuter than the rest of the ugly sweater shake.
So Storybook Treats has a cute Sunday option. It's cute in the photo. I am eager to see how it actually looks when guests start purchasing it. So I don't really understand how it's really put together here. It's a reindeer sundae. It's chocolate soft serve topped with caramel sauce, pretzels, chocolate and peanut butter, dusted rice cereal, and a reindeer chocolate piece. So that it has the little reindeer head on top with a little red Rudolph nose. I guess they just kind of stick the pretzels around on the outside of it is and it's not I mean, it's not actually in the shape
Yeah,
of a
and there
reindeer, you just have
looks
that reindeer head. It's a very interesting looking option.
yes, and there's kind of, what is it, puppy chow that it looks like on the outside. If you know what that is, it's not actual dog food, but where they take the rice cereal.
I know exactly what you mean. I've heard it called, monkey food or something. I've heard it called I know reindeer. It's reindeer food at our local
Oh,
chocolate
real
store.
okay.
They call it reindeer food, and you can get it at the holidays with those,
Well,
uh,
that makes sense
powdered sugar
because it's on a
covered
reindeer
and
Sunday.
chocolate
We
and
call
peanut
it puppy
butter.
chow. So,
Yeah. Well, you do have a
maybe during
child
the
who likes to
holidays,
be
it's
a
rain
puppy, so there's that.
yeah, yes. Over at Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe, there are some snow cheese chicken strips. We'll see how that is, but with a sweet and savory white cheddar powder. So,
What is with
um,
the powder?
Some of you go knock yourselves out on that one. It has a kimchi aioli that it is served with. Let us know if you try that one and how that is. That is new for this year. Maybe it'll only be on there this year. The rest of the items have been there before. There's
So
a holiday pot.
when I
Yes.
read that there was a snow cheese chicken strips, I thought, "Oh, it's gonna be blue cheese crumbles on top of,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
with some kind of sauce." That is not I did not expect white cheddar powder, so we'll see how that goes. And
They don't
again,
look
pot
appealing. They
roast,
look old. They look very old.
not good. Not good.
No. Uh There are
Uh,
other items too, buckle up mousse, which kind of looks like Santa's belt, a holiday turkey burger, and a holiday pot roast melt, the 2 sandwiches on there as well. There's also a cranberry cider punch, which is a non-alcoholic drink with some cranberry juice, apple cider, and Sprite, and with some sugared cranberries and a rosemary, sprig. That looks very light and refreshing on there, much better than the, chicken strips, but again,
uh
if that's your thing, knock yourself out, let us know how that
And they have
is.
a cranberry cider punch also, which is cranberry juice and apple cider with some Sprite and some sugared cranberries and a rosemary sprig. You definitely won't have trouble finding the seasonal beverage anywhere during this party. That's for sure. And that's new again this year and just available during the party. Over at Auntie Gravity's Galactic Goodies, there is a milk and cookies shake, which is new this year. That's a vanilla shake with caramel, holiday cookies, and chocolate chip cookie dough, topped with whipped creams and a festive sprinkle. So that's fun. And then there's a cherry cordial cold brew also there with the Joffrey's cold brew coffee. That one I don't think is new, but it's
Yeah.
also available during the regular park hours. So
Yeah, yeah, I don't know that I would try that, but it looks good. It does look good and appealing. There's also Astro Fizz located in Tomorrowland too that has a cherry white chocolate slushie, has crackable white chocolate coated cup. So I think that's kind of where the, intergalactic modern look comes from with, it's a Fanta cherry slushie topped with whipped cream, cherry gummy candy, and festive sprinkles. So we're moving from cranberry over to cherry when we get to Tomorrowland.
and then not to be outdone with the novelty items, there is a holiday Christmas tree truck there this year also. There is a limit of 2 per person per transaction while supplies last. It's a super cute, it's a Mickey riding around in an old red pickup truck, with a tree in the back. It's a super cute, uh,
Very cute, yes.
popcorn bucket. It is a popcorn bucket, right? I believe that's what it
As
is, yeah.
far as I can tell, that's a
Yep,
popcorn, but it does not look like a
yep.
that'd be a weird sipper.
That is not a sipper.
But
Well, we've had some weird sippers before, but yeah,
that's true.
so
So I say based on these lists, Jollywood Nights wins it for me this year.
yeah, they do have a lot of good things, and I also think I have never said the word cranberry or the word gingerbread as many times, within 1 hour as I did in this last hour, but I'm not knocking it because it all sounds delicious. So,
Yes, it
um,
does.
I may try some of the options that are available during the day in my December trip because we don't have plans, not as of this point, to go to the Christmas party, but it's great that Disney has these options, and I appreciate that they add in these special extra foods for you to give you a little more value and something more exclusive for during the party. So, wow, if you stuck with us through uh, all of that food talk, I guess go get yourself something to eat or drink right now because you very likely may be starving. In today's top 5, we are talking about our top 5 Christmas activities at Walt Disney World Resort. As you probably know by now, Rachel and I are both huge fans of holiday travel at Disney World. There is so much to love about it. So it wasn't super easy to narrow it down to just 5 things, but we gave it a shot. So, Rachel, what do you have as your number 5?
So my number 5 is actually what we just talked about, which would be the parties, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in particular. I know that's pretty low on my list, but I put that low because it is a specially ticketed event and that you do have to pay extra for that. So, it is magical. It is wonderful seeing Snope on Main Street, but because of the extra cost, that's why I put it so low.
Okay, well, it actually didn't even make my list.
Okay, well, there you go.
But for my number 5, I have Festival of the Holidays listed. So Festival of the Holidays is the event that happens at Epcot throughout the holidays, starting just after Thanksgiving and lasting until Christmas. And I love the food booths there and all of the extra options they have. There's a lot of activities that go along with Festival of the Holidays. So that's what made it my number 5.
So number 4 for me is the Christmas tree trail over at Disney Springs. Used to years ago, they had this in one section, and the trees were a lot smaller, but they are always themed trees based on different movies or attractions. It used to be over located close to where Once Upon a Toy is located. Now you find trees all throughout Disney Springs, which is intentional because they want you to go shopping and to see different parts of Disney Springs. But we always have a good time and enjoy that. There's usually a map that you can get for the kiddos to go and look and put stickers where they find the different theme trees, but we always enjoy going to find those. I love the Haunted Mansion tree they have every year over there too.
Okay, so that's funny because it's also not on my list. So I'm curious as this list goes on, are we going to have any duplicates? So my
Yes.
number 4 is kind of Christmas party related, but not necessarily. And it is Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time fireworks that take place during the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. But you are able to see the fireworks from other areas of the resort rather than just being in the park. So if you are dining at the Polynesian or Grand Floridian, or even somewhere like we talked before about the California Grill at the top of the Contemporary Resort, if you schedule it for during fireworks time, you'll be able to see the fireworks from there and enjoy that special fireworks display. I love watching from the beach of the Polynesian Resort following dinner there. So Mickey's A Wonderful Christmas Time is number 4 for me.
So number 4 for me would be Festival of the Holidays. I think Epcot does an amazing job with this. The different storytellers around World Showcase, the festival booths, and all sorts of different special things that you can have that are all included with your park ticket. I This is definitely one of my favorite holiday events of the year anywhere located, and I think it's a very special thing that Epcot does.
So you said that was your 4, but was that your 3?
Oh,
Or
I'm
am I
sorry, that was
counting?
my 3. Never mind.
Okay,
I can't count. That
I
was
got
number
confused there.
3.
Okay, very good. So my number 3 is visiting the resorts and finding all of the gingerbread decorations that they have at them, because many of the Disney World Resort hotels are decorated with gingerbread displays of one kind or another. So I love being able to seek those out. We know for this year we had already been told early on that there would be no display at the Grand Floridian this year, but I'm sure the resort itself will be all decked out by holiday time. And I love going and visiting, seeing the carousel at the beach club, visiting the nice little pop up displays they usually have in the deluxe resort lobbies. Along with these gingerbread displays, they're usually selling little snacks and cookies and gingerbread items and many things like we just discussed in the episode. They have specialty items at those parties. They'll have something special at the resorts also, just not something necessarily put out like in an official announcement. So I love visiting the resorts for the gingerbread decorations.
So number 2 for me is resort hopping, at
Okay.
Christmas time. So it is
Okay. So we're right
absolutely.
there together on that.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm already, although by the time this airs, my trip will have passed, but I'm already trying to figure out, the best strategy to go and see some of my favorites during our, in quotations, "rest day." So,
There's no resting when you're resort hopping, but we'll just call
no.
that a non-park day.
Yes, yeah, that's a great, well, for me it is. For everybody else, we're gonna pretend it's a rest day.
Okay. If they're listening, then you may have a problem, but it's already over with. So the secret's out.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the candlelight processional over at Epcot. So technically I guess it's part of Festival of the Holidays because it's something that's happening in that park during that time. But I love being able to listen to the story of Christmas read by one of their narrators, whoever it happens to be that night. We've talked here about hearing some pretty fabulous ones in the past, but I think no matter who it is, combining the Christmas story along with the music performed by the choir is really just an incredible experience, and it keeps you kind of down to earth and reminds you of the real meaning of Christmas also. So I love having a little bit of that inside the theme park experience.
Yes, that is very special. That did not specifically make my list, but that is part of my number 3 with Festival of the Holidays for
Mhm.
sure. That is one of the most, I think, one of the most wonderful things that Disney does throughout the entire year.
Mhm.
But it was not my number 1 because my number 1 would be all of the park decorations that you can see. I try to make it a point to go to each and every park and see it at nighttime, no matter what time of year that I'm there. It's hard at Animal Kingdom if you're there in the
Mhm.
summer, but the parks take on such a new life and new meaning as soon as the sun goes down and those Christmas lights come up. I simply love it.
It is just so festive. It gets me
Yes.
giddy just thinking
Yes.
about it. I love it. I can't wait to get there. So for my number one, I'll read it exactly how I have it written here, and then I'll explain. Number one for me is lounging at Disney's Wilderness Lodge like it's my own home because I think their tree is absolutely magnificent. The garland around the lobby off of the railings, I think, is absolutely beautiful. I love the hustle and bustle sound of the lobby as people come in. You can hear people gasp when they're seeing it for maybe the first or maybe the 50th time. Who knows? You get that same reaction. The excitement at Whispering Canyon Cafe, located just off of the lobby. They have one of those little pop up stands, a table set up with some special little lodge merchandise and different types of cookies. They usually have a little cookie box that you can get with a mix of a couple different kinds of cookies that I love to get and take along with me. I remember doing that last year. We visited there the last evening. We lounged there, spent some time up in the areas overlooking. So when you visit the lodge as a guest, you are not just limited to staying down on that main floor in the lobby. There are areas you can use the elevator or the stairs to get up to them with some additional little fireplace nooks overlooking the lobby. And this is a place that we found back in our first trip to Wilderness Lodge when, before my second daughter was even born. I was pregnant with her at the time, and we have countless amazing memories there in the lodge, but at Christmas time is just when I really love it. So even when I'm not staying there for the holidays, because I really don't think I've ever actually stayed there at Christmas time before. I've spent plenty of hours there enjoying it, getting snacks in the lobby, maybe a meal at Whispering Canyon or down at Roaring Fork or Geyser Point. The list goes on. So Christmas at Wilderness Lodge is my favorite.
That does sound amazing, and I will be visiting there, and I know you will be visiting there soon too. So, for this week's question of the week, we actually have a question dealing with packages for next year, for 2026, and for parties. So, this question, our listener writes in and asks us if I book my package for next year now, when do I need to decide what day I am going to the party? So, parties that take place throughout the year, Halloween and Christmas in particular. You also have after hours events. So, Missy, when do I need to decide when I will be doing my party?
Well, the good news is you don't have to decide quite yet because we don't even have the dates next year for the Christmas party or the Halloween party, even. So this year, I believe it was July 2nd when the Christmas party tickets went on sale. I would say you'd want to have an idea by around that point because tickets do sell out. So you don't want to miss the opportunity entirely. I actually spoke to somebody earlier today, and again, we're recording this on October 31st, who was looking ahead to a few weeks from now. Last night, almost purchased tickets, and then it was sold out. So
Oh,
they had to choose a
no.
new day today, which is another later November date that'll work for their last minute trip planning. So it's not impossible to get tickets later on, but especially if you're visiting one of the more popular days, you'll want to pick your date as early as possible. That being said, you need to be aware that the special event tickets, like the Halloween party and the Christmas party, are non refundable. So you'll want to be certain of that date at the time that you purchase them because you will not be able to get a refund for that.
Sorry, I was about to say, if you have a question and I got choked. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Okay, let's go that again. All right. If you have a question that you would like for us to answer on our show, please send us an email. We have two email addresses. You can send that to podcast@storybookdestinations.com or a Disney Life at storybookdestinations.com. We would also love it if you would follow us on our socials. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook group called a Disney Life where we get together and talk about things Disney and post things throughout the week. We also have an Instagram. Our handle there is a Disney Life Pod. You can find us under TikTok under the same name as well there too. We'll post shorts throughout the week, reels, things like that. Hopefully get you excited for your next coming up trip too.
So, to wrap things up this week, I do have a tip of the week. And my tip of the week is something that could help you out during the holidays when you're traveling. So, Rachel and I both talked a little bit about visiting resort hotels as part of your Disney holiday experience. If you're someone who enjoys snacking at the hotels, but you don't want to be paying for those pricey beverages that we talked about for the last hour, consider getting yourself a resort refill, a rapid refill mug. You not only can use this at your resort, but any one of Disney's resort hotels. So, one money saving tip that I have for you is to use that mug to get yourself some hot cocoa in the quick service restaurant at the resort you're visiting. And then you can have that along with whatever treat you're picking out for yourself. You could, save $5 to $8 depending on the drinks that are available there. Uh, It'll really add up. So the cups are not they're not cheap. I think they're between $20 to $25 right now, including the tax for rapid refill. If you have the Disney dining plan, that is already included. So go ahead and carry that mug with you on your rest day, aka non-park day, when you're visiting those resorts to enjoy those holiday decorations. So that will do it for today's episode. I truly hope you are all enjoying listening to the podcast and traveling through a Disney life with us. We hope that you have some plans to visit Disney this Christmas, or that maybe you're thinking of some ideas to travel in future years, or whether you're just going to enjoy watching things on YouTube and remembering memories of Disney Christmas holidays you've already had. They do hold a special place in our heart, and we are very appreciative of you listening today and following along with us. And we hope you're having a blessed and very happy and merry holiday season.